the foul and play good defense and make sure you get the defensive board if you're Indiana. If you're Iowa, you want to force the action, go to the rim, attack.
Czinano has been a good option all game long. I think Grace Berger has just fouled out.
Yeah, late on that rotation. Really good offensive execution by Iowa.
And Grace Berger picks up her 5th.
Yeah, she was just a little bit late on that rotation. Gets underneath Czinano as she's trying to cut to the rim and catch and shoot.
21 points for Berger as her day comes to an end. One out of 2, Czinano with an even 30. One off her season high. Indiana's got to hurry.
Yeah, I'm a little surprised that they didn't use a timeout to run a set play. Taking a lot of time.
Pat Bird, guarded by Clark. Drives, Clark blocked it. And a timeout taken by Lisa Bluder and Iowa. And Terry Morin says, where's that foul on Clark?
Indiana took a lot of time in that offensive possession. Allie Patberg looking to attack, trying to get the contact. Caitlin Clark got all ball, yep, all ball.
And then looking at Terry Morin, though, you might have seen her gesture the other way. I think she was more upset about the block call that fouled out Grace Berger. But there's your reset. Iowa with the possession arrow. Both teams in the bonus. And Iowa sitting with a 5-point lead. Czinano, excuse me. Her 3rd double-double of the season, 30 points and 10 rebounds. Should get most outstanding player for the tournament.
She certainly has been terrific. I mean, she has been single-handedly carried Iowa, been the presence inside that they needed, allowed the driving lanes to happen because of her presence inside, as you see her numbers.
And that has been all weekend long for her. Clark gonna play a little keep away, and then finally is fouled. That took a while.
Looked like they didn't want to foul Caitlin Clark, wanted to make her give it up.
Clark, a terrific free throw shooter. And now Kate Martin heads to the line.
You talk about Monika Czinano and what she's been able to do for this tournament here today. Well, Kate Martin has been the X factor. She really has. Caitlin Clark had 41 last night, has struggled from the floor today, has still put up pretty good numbers, but Kate Martin has been the X factor for this Hawkeye ball club in this tournament.
And this is something that's got to hearten Iowa fans, pardon me, if hearten is indeed a word, that Caitlin, she's still, you know, a lot of people would love to have 18 points in a game, but this is definitely, as you mentioned, an off day. You're not getting a lot of offensive input from, like, Marshall hasn't scored, but both Czinano and Kate Martin have really pulled things up for Iowa in this game.
Yeah, they have, and Monika Czinano has been terrific all game long, but particularly in the second half. Again, feeding her, using her body inside, doing her work, getting great position so that all she has to do is make a move. She hasn't even had to use a counter move, let alone a dribble, even on the reverse. Perfect position where teammates understand how, when, and where to get her the basketball, and she has just gone to work.
Big smile from the kid from Watertown, Minnesota, who as a freshman was just there to give Megan Gustafson some breaks, some rest, and has blossomed really into a really, really good player. Foul on the baseline. on Kate Martin. Charlie Cream has Iowa as a 3 seed coming into the NCAA tournament. Indiana as a 4, which means they would both, along with Michigan as a 3, get to host. And we talked about it earlier in the day, but boy, the Big Ten, what a year it's been for the Big Ten.
Yeah, it sure has. Ohio State and Iowa share the title. Really 5 teams in that last week that were fighting for it.
Daniel Hillary missed that on purpose and then had it taken away by Warnock, who called the timeout. So Iowa and Indiana, 2 of 7 teams that Charlie Cream say will get into the NCAA tournament again a week from tonight as Selection Sunday. We're going to have a first 4 in for the first time on the women's side.
Yes.
So right now, Iowa in control.
Yeah, they really are. And you have to give this Iowa team a lot of credit. They hit a skid of their own, responded, won the last 6 games heading into this game here today, found a rhythm, won a championship, come in here. Caitlin Clark off by Caitlin Clark standards here tonight, certainly, but everyone else has stepped up and found a way for this team to position themselves for a win.
And a foul right away, and you have to give Indiana so much credit. Goodness, 4 games in 4 days after playing pretty much every other day, as you mentioned, down the stretch. They lost 4 of their last 5 regular season games, and 2 of them to Iowa. And because we talked about this when we looked at the reveal and thought maybe Indiana was a little bit too high, considering they were skidding a little bit towards the end, but Holmes was not healthy.
Yes.
And they're going to be dangerous in the tournament, you think?
And again, 10 games in 26 days in the month of February, as you mentioned. Mackenzie Holmes reintegrating back into the lineup. I don't know how the committee takes all of these things into consideration. You certainly think that they have to. COVID rescheduling, players in and out with COVID as well. But positioning themselves with this kind of run in the tournament shows you the type of team that Indiana is.
They are a tough out, to say the least. Caitlin Clark says, come on and cheer for me and the rest of my teammates. Over 8,700 people, by the way, in the building. Largest since 2004.
Wow.
18 years ago.
18 years ago.
Unbelievable.
It sure is.
And not just the Indiana fans, there's a huge contingency of Iowa fans stretching up into the second deck. I was walking around yesterday and found an establishment where they were getting their pregame courage up, let's say.
Yep.
Having a good time. The band was out there, and boy, Lisa Bluder's team, 3rd time in 4 years they're in the title game. 2nd time they're going to win it.
Well, Caitlin Clark has struggled from the floor. Nicole Cardano-Hillary certainly deserves a lot of credit for that, but she has gotten it done when it's counted. She was able to get to the rim, knocking down a couple of looks, getting her teammates involved. I mean, these are tough finishes. This is exactly what Indiana wanted. Make Caitlin Clark earn hers. Nothing comes easy, and boy, it sure didn't for Caitlin Clark.
Yeah, I think she's going to remember this day. Hillary, no one will be happier, I think, to see her graduate from Caitlin Clark, because her career will be over after this season. Again, the George Mason transfer, a grad student, Caitlin Clark. What a character she is. And remember, she's only a sophomore.
And how about that hug, Monica Czinano and Jan Jensen right there. I mean, Czinano has just been terrific. And when you think about players who put in the work, who come in and weren't highly recruited, who didn't play a lot, didn't complain, just went to work.
Yeah, worked hard and reaping the benefits.
Yes, reaping the benefits. Positioned herself to be a first-team All-Big Ten player, to come back for another year because she feels like this team, this program is so special. I mean, how rewarding for Monica Czinano and this Iowa Hawkeye program.
Yeah, at Iowa, when they clinched a share of the Big Ten title at Rutgers, they talked about how happy they were, but what they missed was the confetti. And they are 3.7 seconds away from the confetti raining down. And I'm thinking that Caitlin Clark might do some confetti angels on the court.
I bet she does. I'll bet she does.
Indiana, winners of 21 games, 7th straight year. Terry Morin has led them to a 21 season. This will be win number 23 for Iowa. They're all going to go home and wait for Selection Sunday. Caitlin Clark and the Hawkeyes are Big Ten tournament champions. And here comes the confetti.
Lisa Bluder told them in their shoot-around today, visualize yourself cutting down the nets. Visualize the confetti coming down. And that's what this team has done. Congratulations to Lisa Bluder and the Iowa Hawkeyes.
4th tournament title. And the first time Iowa has ever won a regular season Big Ten championship and a tournament championship in the same season. And boy, they had to work for everything today against Indiana.
They sure did. Give this Indiana Hoosiers team a lot of credit. 4 games in 4 days, but Caitlin Clark, Monika Czinano, and the Iowa Hawkeyes prevail.
Czinano with 73 points in the 3 games for Iowa. Clark finishes with 18 points, but was just 1 of 7 from 3. Berger with 20, Cardano Hillary with 19 points for Indiana, and a lot of aggravation on the part of Caitlin Clark. And there's Jan Jensen there in the jacket, the Iowa staff and everybody else going to celebrate Coach Bluder and her family. Her daughter Hannah is on her staff as an ops director, and what a year for Iowa. And Czinano, this is a weekend of, you want to bottle this up.
Yeah.
Hold on to it forever.
There is no question about it.
So Caitlin Clark, as a sophomore, wins her first Big Ten tournament championship. That was one of the many things on her bucket list. And here is Caitlin with Christy.
Caitlin, first of all, congratulations. You told us today after practice you guys were able to cut a net with a share of the regular season title, but you didn't get any confetti. You have the confetti now. What does that feel like for you?
I mean, it's amazing. This is what we've been talking about all week, and to do it with this group of girls, and I mean, the feeling's unreal. The confetti's awesome. We didn't have confetti last Sunday, but this Sunday we're just going to add that on top of everything.
What did it take to grit out this win against a tough Indiana team?
Yeah, obviously they played great defense, but obviously Monika Czinano, heck of a game from her. I think she's the best big in the country. She played tremendous, but we did the little things down the stretch. We got stops, came up big when we needed to on the defensive end, and credit to our girls. It was a fun one.
I heard Monika Czinano in the huddles towards the end of the game, and she was imploring the team to get stops and get rebounds. What is it like to play with a player like that who is such a tremendous leader, both statistically and vocally?
Yeah, she's one of the best leaders on this team, and I think she's kind of overlooked, and I mean, one of the most underrated players in the country, and she deserves a lot of credit for what she does for this team as a leader and as a player. One of the best teammates I've ever had, one of the best basketball players I've ever seen, so it's a lot of fun getting to play with her.
What was the biggest challenge for you personally today in this game?
Yeah, obviously super physical with me. That we knew that's kind of how it was going to be, but I think I kept my cool down the stretch, and that's kind of what led us here. I just kind of led the team throughout there in the 4th quarter and kind of stayed level-headed, and that's what we needed, and ended up getting the win.
Coach Bluder sat the team down in the circle as she typically does after practice, and she said that caring leads to success. What does it mean when that is said by her and exemplified by the team?
I mean, she's the best example of caring. She cares more about us as people than as basketball players. Obviously, what she's built here is tremendous. First ever Iowa basketball team be regular season champs and now tournament champs. But, you know, these group of girls are my best friends off the floor, too. And I think that's why we play so well on the court. And I love them to death. And, you know, it's so fun getting to celebrate with them.
Well, the law firm of Monika Czinano and Caitlin Clark with confetti falling down. Congratulations once again.
Appreciate it.
So Caitlin Clark and Iowa beating Indiana 74-67. They will be taking that Spiffy Trophy back home to Iowa City.
Yeah.